Welcome back, everybody, to our chatbot building tutorial series. This is part 4. This series is targeted towards beginners, and we'll talk about basics and how to build your own custom chatbots without the need for code. And as a reminder, for this entire series, we'll be using a platform called Voiceflow, a powerful chatbot building platform that doesn't need coding. In this video, we'll expand more on how to use intents because if you've been following the series so far, our current bot is pretty linear. So when the conversation starts, the bot will say, "Hey, welcome to Triplelanes," and then, "How can I help you today?" And then the option we give them is just one single button saying, "I want to learn how to build a chatbot." And then when the user clicks that, it will respond with this. We have the tutorial series on YouTube. Before we start modifying things, let's just run this as a recap. So there you go. Welcome to Triplelanes. How can I help you today? And then the singular option saying, I want to learn how to build a chatbot. And then when the user clicks that, we have the response. We have a tutorial series on our YouTube channel. Now, as an example, that's fine of an approach, or maybe if you only have two to three options, that's fine. But what if these paths, these options starts to grow? What if you want to build a chatbot that is capable of answering multiple scenarios? You don't want to just present the user with 25 buttons. That's just a bad experience. Ideally, we want a chatbot where the user can simply chat to it, and then that the chatbot will be like smart enough to understand what the user intention is. So, how do we go about doing that? Well, remember when we added this button, we were we typed in what the button should say. Now, it turns out, let's just delete this. If we add, so you want to go to listen and then button. If we add a button and then don't put a label on it, what would happen is instead of showing an actual button, the chatbot will just wait for a text response. Like it's an open-ended thing. I'll not show you buttons. I'm just waiting for you to type something. So we will not put a label here. We'll just leave it blank so that it listens for a response. Now that that is set up, time for the meat of this tutorial, which is all about intents. Now, what are intents exactly? Well, you can think of intents as your ifs and thens. So basically, what you're telling your chatbot is, okay, if the user wants this, then follow these steps. Or if the wants this, follow these steps otherwise. So the way you do that is you want to go to event, and here you have the intent option. So you just want to drag it over. And then we do have predetermined trained intent. But for the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to want to make our own. So let's go to the bottom and click Create New Intent. So we want to name our intent, our custom intent. In this case, let's just say user wants to learn. And then for the description, just put describe what it is. In this case, we could say user wants to learn how to build a chatbot. Now, the next step would be utterances. This is where you list what the bot will listen for. Basically, the potential things that the user may type. So you're telling the bot if the user types this, then it means they want to learn how to build a chatbot. So a few examples could be how do you build a chatbot. Another one could be teach me how to build a chatbot. Another one could be I want to watch, no, I want to learn how to build a chatbot. Now notice we have a tiny bar here that is filling up the more we input options here. And you want this to be green. It means you've put in enough of a sample of what to expect that the bot is more confident in determining if the user wants to learn or whatever your intent is. Now, for the purposes of this tutorial, just to speed things up, we could use the generate button here, which is AI powered. So the AI will generate a few more examples for us. There we go. So I'm interested in learning how to code. Can you teach me how to program? Whatever. So yeah, potential things that the users may say. So let's just click create intent. That's our first intent setup. I want to set up another one because I want to demonstrate how to handle multiple intents. So we're going to go to event again and then intent, drag it over to the side. And we want to create another one, another custom intent. For this one, let's say user wants to contact support. Pretty self-explanatory. We can just put it, say the same in the description. User wants to contact support. For the utterances, the user can say, I want to contact support. How do I get in touch? What else? Can I email support? And then for the rest, let's just use the AI here. There we go, and then create intent. Now that we have set up our intent, basically we now have our ifs. We then have to define what we want to happen when these intents are triggered. So if the user wants to learn, I want stuff to happen. Or if the user wants to contact support, I want stuff to happen. For the purposes of this tutorial, we're just going to respond with a simple text. So what we're going to do is go to talk and then text, drag it over, and then make sure to connect it by dragging from the small circle, dragging over to our text box, and we want it to respond. That's great. We have a tutorial on YouTube. And then obviously you could paste links to the YouTube channel, but let's just keep it like this for now. And then if the user wants to contact support, same thing. Let's go to talk, text. Don't forget to connect it. And then here's our email. And then you could put our email, but let's just simplify it and leave it there. So if the user wants to learn, respond with this. If the user wants to contact support, respond with this. So let's test this one. Let's hit play and then run test. So as expected, because we didn't add a label to the button we added, instead of presenting us with a clickable option, it just waits for us to type something, which is exactly what we want to happen. So let's test the learning first. Let's say, teach me how to build a chatbot. There we go. So it responded, that's great. We have a tutorial on YouTube. So it followed this path right here. Let's run it again and try the support one. How can I help you today? Let's say I want to contact support. Support. There we go. Here's our email. So it followed this one. Now, if you notice, there is something a bit clunky about our implementation here. Once we've entered a path and then we got a result, the bot just stops listening. And then basically there's no way to exit the menu or start over. And the way we did that with our test was to reset it, which would be equivalent to just refreshing the page if this was like deployed on a website. So what we want to do to fix that is to make sure that after the response happens, that the bot will continue to listen for what's next. So the way we do that is simple, similar to what we did with this first block. We add a listen but and a listen button, but we don't put a label. Same here, listen. That way, when the results show, the bot will continue to listen for another response, and then we can do more actions after that. And what I want to add is an event or an intent that allows us to start over from the very beginning. So the way you do that is you go to event, intent, and instead of creating another like block like this, because we want it to just start over, we can just link it to our very first block of actions here. So we want this intent to be called, well, let's create a custom one. We can call it start over. User wants to start over. And then the phrases the user may say will be something like start over, home, I want to start over, reset, maybe. Let's just use the AI here. Let's generate like 10 more. Yeah, so clear everything, restart, begin from scratch. So yeah, let's save that. Let's create intent. So let's try running this new setup we have. Let's hit play and run test. So let's say, teach me how to build a chatbot. There we go. That's great. We have a tutorial on YouTube. But then again, because we added another step, the conversation doesn't end. It's still continuing to wait for me to type another message. And now let's say I want to jump to contacting support. I want to contact support. There we go. Here's our email. Now let's try our start over intent. Let's type start over. There we go. Now we're back from the very beginning. And that's it for part 4 of our chat building tutorial series where we teach you how to build your own custom chatbot without the need for code. If you've been following the series so far and you've found it helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the following tutorials. Thank you for watching, everyone. See you in the next one.